Talk to me, your dog.
So if you scoot back just a little bit further, and this time just try to walk it as slow as possible and smile. That's gonna be the fun part, because you enjoy this. You really do, deep down in your heart.
It's kind of a gnarly experience. You have the feeling that you're like 3,000 feet over the ground. My guess would be we've developed a pretty common sense thing here where you see a massive expanse of air and like ground going down very quickly and you get scared. Yeah, you go the other way and have children and produce more of your kind, not highline across it. I don't get it, man. I don't get how highlighting started.
So in Jackson Hole, there's gonna be a full eclipse for the first time in decades. And we are gonna rig a highline in a strategic spot where we can get the eclipse behind me highlining.
It's perfect. It's exactly what I want.
Basically, this is the poly line I brought for you.
Yeah, no, we're definitely doing vectoring.
I'm trying to pull off an iconic image that will sum up everything I've been doing for the past 10 years.
Alex has the opportunity to walk a highline in an eclipse, a full eclipse, and he is not specifically a highliner. He is a trick liner.
Feels like high pressure. All the stars have to align, and there's so many chain links in a chain, and all it takes is one to sort of snap the whole process.
Apparently, I climbed everything I could since the beginning of time. This is a tree I would climb all the time. This is where my climbing career started. My family signed me up for rock climbing courses, I think, pretty early into middle school.
Yeah. Alex first came into the gym when he was about 11 years old. This little guy comes in here with all this enthusiasm for climbing.
Me and my sister ended up actually competing, which led to her getting better at rock climbing than me, which led to me abandoning that sport and moving to slacklining.
From the moment he spotted those slack lines, he started trying to walk across them. And then he learned that people could do tricks, and he wanted to learn how to do them too.
He surprised us by really pursuing it and really putting in the time. It was the first thing he really took seriously.
He had talent, you know, he had natural ability, but he also worked really, really hard.
We literally had to redefine the sport of trick lining because of Alex Mason. He's my little brother, you know. I'd love to see him be successful. So it looks pretty good, huh? Right now, we're just kind of trying to put the line up just as simply as possible. We're basically just going to tie it to some of the options that we have for the anchors. My nickname is Sketchy, Sketchy Andy. I was given that nickname for doing a lot of things that are considered dangerous, but somehow I always seem to pull it off. And so it's not dangerous, but it is sketchy.
That was so cool.
My relationship with Andy is always changing.
Everybody, thank you for joining us, and we will see you later.
Right now, he jokes I'm his biggest employer because I hire him for a lot of like rigging stuff.
So there are two lines in highlining. You have your main line, and in case anything goes wrong with that, we're gonna install a backup line as well. Beauty.
Oh, you're actually using precaution right now. Is what you
Well,
do.
I figured it'd be better for you.
Guys, we're staying super safe.
He's using the extreme to tie it around my waist precaution. I trust Andy with my life for a couple reasons. One is because he knows what he's doing completely. And two is if he like rigs something that's sketchy, he'll let you know exactly how it can go wrong.
Feels just like a trick line, so
Sick.
don't bounce on it though, because it's not a trick line.
Yeah, please.
You can go.
He's gonna whip. He's gonna whip. You just pulled a bolt out the wall.
When I said don't bounce the line, I meant it. Whipping counts as bouncing.
You were like only 2 redundancies away from dying.
Right now, we're just doing a little bit of a re-rig. I took another bolt, a new bolt, and put the new bolt in. Cranked that thing down, so.
Oh, an expansion guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So now I feel way better about it. We are working together with the camera crew today to put the line in a place where not only Alex will be comfortable walking a high line, but Keith Ladinsky, our photographer, will be able to capture a shot at the exact precise angle and moment of totality in the eclipse.
It's this fleeting thing, and I know that there's not a whole lot of room for error, and I've never photographed an eclipse before. Good imagery is sort of a wedding with your subject and like the person taking the picture and nailing it correctly. For something like this, we also have to throw in that third party, which is like nature. So I have two options that I've kind of sussed out. The first option is hanging off of the wall. It's a great shot in terms of where totality is going to happen. My big apprehension though is I'm not 100% satisfied with the entire frame. You can definitely see that Alex is highlining. You can definitely see where the sun's going into eclipse, but it really isn't like the hero angle. The problem with the shoot like this is you can't really move the sun, but I found a way where I could actually move the sun.
I think a double exposure is the ticket.
Which is basically taking two photos onto one single frame. And it's a much, much riskier shot. If I'm lucky, I could shoot 5 frames. Because you're changing lenses and you have to recompose and you have to keep your shit together.
I'm super nervous about not getting the shot. We have an eclipse over Jackson Hole, and how many times do you get to see that? The last one was in 1927.
In order for an eclipse to occur, we must have a new moon, which means the dark side of the moon faces the Earth. Because of the moon's elliptical orbit, there is not an eclipse every new moon. Most of the time, the moon is either too high or too low to obscure the sun. When the moon lines up, specific parts of the Earth can experience a total eclipse of the sun. If we are in the path of totality, we can see the total eclipse.
This hurts just as much as it looks like it does.
Andy's called Sketchy Andy for a lot of reasons. He's sketchy. He's just super sketchy. He's sketchy in a bunch of different ways.
That's a bad idea. That's what we call a bad idea in the business. You just don't want this being your lifeline. Like, let's be real. Looks cool, though. Got the shot.
Okay. 1, 2. Okay, let's try it, Gucci. Alex Mason is my mentor, and he is also my greatest competition. I mean, if you do a butt backflip, I'll do a butt backflip, guaranteed. Oh, okay, well, I guess I have to do a butt backflip.
The first time I met Sketchy Andy Lewis was at Bridges Rock Gym. I was about 12 or 13, and I was just learning how to slackline. He had been one of my heroes at the time. He taught me how to like chest bounce and do some basic tricks like that. Andy had birthed modern slacklining. You know, he's kind of in every like early video of slacklining. It's all just him making up working new tricks.
Since 2008, 2009, 2010, I won a lot of the trick line contests. That was me. I was there. I was winning. I was #1.
The greatest thing about Andy is how humble he is.
I'm very humble. That is one thing. Think positively. Front flip, feet to feet. Whoa! Just be nimble, be quick. Oh, God! Oh, dang it. See, this is where it gets competitive and it gets a little dangerous.
So the second time I met him was a little more interesting.
In 2011, we had the first ever national slackline contest, and Alex Mason was just getting into the sport. And he came to see me and Alpha Mike Payton slackline in 2011 to see what it would take to be #1.
Andy, to this day, thinks he should have won, which he probably should have. And he got second and was very angry about it.
I fold my check in half, I give the finger to everybody, I take soda water, and I threw it on the judges. This is the most embarrassing public display of anti-sportsmanship in the history of slacklining. And Alex Mason saw that. He saw me do that.
My little impressionable 14-year-old mind, I turned to my father because my father had accompanied me to that competition and said, I respect him, but he's not my role model, which is why I think my parents let me go on a lot of the trips, because they knew Sketchy Andy Lewis was there, and as long as I respected him, but he wasn't my role model.
Oh, that double! Oh, at least. Oh. Fine. Oh, and the Misty to butt flip? Oh, come on, you're making it hard for me. Alex Mason is the first kid to come into trick lining and change everything that we knew. He was more consistent than anyone. He developed bigger tricks than anyone. He won more contests back-to-back than anyone. Old dogs do learn new tricks. Oh, God. Oh! That was really impressive. That was actually...
That trick sucks.
That's the best I can do. Oh! I beat Alex one time in a trick line contest. I beat Alex Mason in the final round in 2012 and took the gold medal. And that was the last time Alex Mason was ever beaten. Ever, pretty much. Oh, it's to do. Oh!
That looked really bad.
It was worse than it looked. Rock! Oh, Brazilian Ascension.
And done very well.
Watch how little power I use. And I still don't. Oh, that really actually hurt. Oh, that's because I was talking shit. Watch how little I tried. I love slacklining. Okay. Don't film me crying behind the tree.
I didn't really sleep last night, just due to nerves and elevation sickness a little bit.
I'll be honest, I'm a little concerned with the clouds. It's all around us and above us, and of course the concern here is that we're gonna have our shot covered up. We're at the mercy of nature here. Just for a little real-time drama, my camera is acting weird. Like the shutter's locking up. The point of anxiety for this shoot is this fleeting moment and the stars aligning and everything working out.
We're still waiting for the weather to warm up a little bit and for clouds to get out of the way of the sun.
The fastest way to warm up is fear beating in your heart.
We have 2 hours until totality.
Right now, I just look at this, I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? It's very loose.
Not when you stand on it. The eclipse will last roughly 100 seconds. Everybody has to get their job done right then, right there, and that 100 seconds is going to be fast.
So highlining is really, really scary. A lot of people don't realize this because they think that you're just hooked in, which you are, so you're probably not gonna die. Irrational fear.
Really, the perceived exposure is massive. So when you're on there, the focus is really hard to get. And when you're doing something where you only have 100 seconds to focus, you really want to be in your comfort zone. And this is not the project for Alex to be in his comfort zone.
Relax and breathe.
I don't like the feel of this line, dude.
Like it's too...
It's too static.
It's too static?
Yeah.
We can literally re-rig this line in no time.
No, it's not worth it.
40 minutes until totality.
It's gonna get really cold.
And dark.
You know, that's gonna be pretty gnarly, the whole darkness thing. I like to slackline when it's light out, almost exclusively.
I mean, if you just play here for the next half hour, it should be, you'll feel a lot better, you know? It's just gotta,
It just sucks to have to bust through the fear like right now.
this is it.
Alex is up against a lot. Like, he lives at sea level, and this Highline course, it's like 10,000 elevation, and that's a huge adjustment for anybody. It's gonna bring on fatigue, it's gonna bring on like a lot of things that really aren't conducive to doing like this athletic endeavor.
5 minutes until totality.
Keith, I'm gonna do what I can, but I don't know what's gonna be possible.
Sure, yeah, do your best, man. Just do your best.
I'll get out there before it goes.
Cool.
And get set up, and I'll try to stand up right as it goes.
I worked with them on a job in Hawaii. It's called Slack Ladder. It was a series of slack lines that went up this canyon. I'm talking like over waterfall, and watching him be just brutally nervous, right? Nervous to the point where in my mind, I didn't say anything, but I'm like, is this dude gonna be able to do this?
Get that breath down. If you scoot back just 1 or 2 more takes, then you can get a nice...
Oh, God. I'm never doing this again. Scared as shit.
Hey, Alex, can you look?
I took Alex to Yosemite to do his first Highline.
He's like, this isn't fun just yet.
I was very heartened that Alex was totally terrified of it and didn't make it across. So I thought, oh, good. He might grow out of this yet.
1 minute to totality.
Shadows are getting weird. Take it nice and slow. And then you can finish, we'll high five, scoot back out, do some statics. Here we go. This is it. Yeah, buddy. Woo! Getting dark. Yeah. Get that breath and smile. You gotta smile. You're rocking it. Yeah. Jackson Hole, Eclipse Highline, nice and slow. Enjoy every step of that line. There it is. Come on in, nice and slow. Every step golden. Yeah, that's it. Boom. That is it.
That one's the coolest one I think.
That's dope.
Insane, huh?
Yeah, that's so sick.
The light was so weird. As a photographer, I've never seen a situation like that before. It means a lot to take a picture you're proud of, and I'm really proud of this one.
Good, I feel great. I can't wait to take a nap and eat lunch.
Yeah, buddy.
Good job.
It was sick. Thank you, man. Thanks
So good to see you.
for being here. Thanks for doing it.
Just focus, breathe, and believe. That's all you gotta do sometimes. I've been a very edgy character, and man, I made all the mistakes that I'm trying to teach Alex not to make. So, as not being his role model, I am also learning to be his role model.
It's really always been about pushing the sport of slacklining and seeing like what new heights we can take it to. Like doing in front of Eclipse or in the jungle of Hawaii. Every single ladder step you take up makes the sport better.